Today we will be making meatballs. Meatballs with a crust. That's a little bit different type of meatballs. They're gonna be like crunchy. So for this, we're gonna need. I usually use ground turkey, organic ground turkey from Trader Joe's. This is like my go-to brand type of thing. I'm gonna use 2 of these because I need a bigger, we have lots of people. So if you want, you can cut everything in 2. For example, if you'd like, you can just use 1 of them and just divide everything by 2. Okay, then what we're gonna need is organic rye flour. You can do just the rye flour, not organic. The arrowhead that you can find everywhere is gonna work. Ground flaxseed, any kind will do. Fine, any fine salt. And then this is also from Trader Joe's. This is 21 seasoning salut. Very nice. Love this spice. And we also are gonna need some Italian style breadcrumbs. This is from Whole Foods. You can get this there. We also need eggs and some milk, a little bit of milk. So what we're gonna do first is let's put our meat here in the bowl. You're gonna need a bowl as well. Don't forget to remove the lining that's on the bottom of the tray. And we're gonna put the second one. If you need to feed a lot of people, like many people, probably about more than 4, then I recommend doing 2 trays because 1 is not gonna be enough. Okay, so mine is a little bit frozen. Ideally, you need to thaw it or don't even freeze it. I'm gonna have to, do some work in terms of, cutting it into pieces. Okay, next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work with meat later. Now we're gonna put 2 eggs. 2 eggs. Any kind of eggs, obviously. 2 eggs. Then what we're gonna do is, next is we're going to add some salt. I'm gonna grab a paper towel. 1 second. Need to wipe my hands. We're gonna put some salt. It's right here. So I put about 2 teaspoons, but I use my hand to measure, like so. This is enough. Like I just use my as a measuring, my hand, my palm as a measuring cup. This is 2 teaspoons, roughly, approximately. And then some seasoning. We also need some ground flaxseed, tons of it. I add a lot of it, like so, maybe like 1/3 of a cup. And a little bit of these, maybe again, 1/3 of a cup, maybe half a cup. And now what we're gonna do is, this is going to go on the crust, so you don't need to put it into the batter, or what is the name, into the ground meat that you're gonna mush together. So this you're gonna put aside, and now what we are going to do, it's the most laborious part. We have to actually break down mix everything together. Mine is frosted a little bit. If you want, you can defrost it in the microwave. It's gonna be faster. So this is that. I'm gonna just, try to break it down and mix together. Oh, by the way, let's add some milk. We're gonna pour a little bit of milk, maybe like half a cup. I think should work. Again, if you want, if you have less people to feed, then you can do everything. You just divide everything in half. So like 1 egg, 1 tray, like so. 1 teaspoon salt. Okay, and that's it pretty much. Now I'm gonna work through the meat and try to break it down. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like when you mixed everything together. You can see that I put some little tiny pieces of butter. So the reason I do that is that I actually put cut the butter like so in tiny little pieces and spread them, sprinkle this on top of the butter like this, on top of the meat. And the reason I do that is I actually use turkey, and turkey is well known for being a pretty dry meat. It's lean, so it's healthy, but it's very lean and kind of dry. So to make it juicier, you can put some butter, a little bit of it, like a really tiny bit of it. Okay, how do we shape everything? Before we start shaping the actual meatballs, let's preheat the oven. So we're going to turn it on to 2.5. It's like medium heat. And while the pans are starting to warm up, we're going to shape the meatballs. You need a plate. Take a large flat plate. Take your rye flour and sprinkle it like so, like this, like so. And then take your flaxseed again and sprinkle as well a little bit, like this. Then you take your spoon and a fork, and you shape each meatball like this into little oval things like that. And you need to actually roll each meatball in this mixture, because this is going to give it a crust that we're looking for. Martin loves this crust. That's the reason I make it. I started actually making meatballs with the crust like this because of Martin, because he likes them this way. Okay, next one is, let me show you another one, how it's gonna look like. Okay, like this. And by the way, butter is optional. And we just shape them, using the spoon and the fork like that. And roll. So, repeating this action multiple times, you're just gonna shape them all into little balls like this, little oval shaped balls like this. They're not supposed to be super perfect, so this is perfectly fine. Okay, so now it's been about maybe 3 minutes and our pans are well warmed up. What we're gonna use is, I usually use avocado oil with, sometimes I use avocado oil plus the olive oil, because avocado oil has a very high heat, I think it's called high heat index, so like you can use it really when you're frying something or roasting something, which is nice. Smoking point, it has a high smoke point. So this time avocado oil, but olive oil also works, or sunflower also okay. So in this case, how do you transfer them? You just use the same fork, the same tools that you have, the same utensils. And just like that, you put them right here. What I usually do is I actually shape, not all of them, but like a couple, and then I transfer them there. So you don't have to make everything in advance, shape them, right? You can just do like, okay, 3, and then go back to making some more. And it's a gradual process. Okay, so now let me show you how do you figure out when it's time to turn them. It's still on about 2, I mean the heat is on 2. What I need to do is like flip them, use a spatula like a silicone like this one, and you can see that this started forming a crust like so, and you're just flipping them over, all of them like that, usually at the same time, like so. You just flip them. And then again keep frying them or roasting them, what is the correct term, until they're brown like that on the other side as well. Okay, we're done, and this is how they're supposed to look when they're ready. They have like little crust, and you flip them until they're pretty much, they look like this. So yep, we're done with them. If you have leftovers, the best way to store them is to put them in a glass container or plastic container, and with a lid, close the lid and put them in the fridge. And that's it.